think when you're working with someone like John Crowley, who's so who comes from the theatre, so his ability to juggle all these performances and actors and weave the fabric of this story together, that's what he does, you know. So he's so detailed and nuanced and particular about what he wanted with the performances, and that's just a joy to work with as an actor, because you can really fall into the director and lean on him and rely on him.
What did you take away from the story?
What I take away? Well, obviously I have an enormous love of art, and to have, I think this is it's an adult drama, but it's emotional and it's very smart. I don't think it's, it's talking about what you imbue a particular piece of art or something that's so important to you and what you imbue that with. And obviously in this story, it's his mother. But you look at that tiny little painting of the goldfinch and that little bird who's got the chain around its foot. And I just love that an image can convey such depth, and then Donna Tartt goes and writes this whole story like that.
I play Pippa, who is also in the bombing at the Met. So I also lose my grandfather. Theo, he loses his mother. So that's why we have that connection, because we both lost people in the bombing. So so I also got a head injury. So I have physical and emotional pain and trauma, losing somebody, getting hurt. So that's my character.
What's it like to get the call that you're going to be in this massive Hollywood studio production?
Crazy.
Yeah,
it's nerve-wracking, but it's really, really cool and a really good experience.
And so do you share any scenes with any of the sort of Nicole? Obviously Nicole's in the film and that sort of thing, so do you get to work with any of them?
No, I don't. I mostly worked with Oaks in it.
Okay, cool. And this is obviously the Toronto Film Festival, one of the biggest film festivals in the world. No, is it your first time here? Is it your first festival experience? What do you think of the whole thing?
I think it's so cool. I'm really, baffled by all of it. It's really amazing.
I play Em, who's Kitsy Barber's best friend. So Kitsy is played by Willa Fitzgerald, and she plays Theo's fiance, Ansel, Egort's fiance in the film. Yeah.
And were you obviously aware of the book before you took the role?
I loved the book. It was one of my favorite books, and so I was so excited when I saw that they were making a movie. Yeah.
So talk me about how you got involved. So you get the call, you did your audition, or did you just go straight?
I got an audition, but I sort of insisted on auditioning because I had read the book and loved it. So I called my agent and was like, I have to audition for this. And so getting the part, getting to be a part of it was a dream come true.
Sure. And I think it's your first time in Toronto at the festival?
It's my first time in Toronto, but it's my first time at TIFF, yeah.
Okay, and what's it like to bring a film to this great city and to a film festival of this sort of size and scale?
It's super cool. I mean, I feel so lucky to be. I mean, this is the fun part where everybody sees people they know and have go to parties and have a great time. So this is just like a blast.
You shoot so many different types of films: sci-fi, western. You name it, you've done it. Bond films.
Really lucky the last few years in particular, because we came off Blade Runner and then did Goldfinch, and we've just done 1917 with Sam Mendes.
You've done all right.
Well, there's three. You couldn't get three films that are more different, visually anyway, from my point of view.
So how do you choose a project then? Because you're very picky about what you do, and rightly so, I would be. So how do you? What struck you about the Goldfinch in particular, and why this particular film over anything else that you might have been offered as well?
Oh no, I mean you're attracted to the story if you're kind of emotionally connected to it. That's the most important thing. I mean, it's not anything else at all. And it's about obviously working with the director. I work with Denis. I'll do anything with Denis, and I'll probably do anything with Sam, bar his second Bond movie. Sorry about that.
And John.
And John, but I've only done one with John, so.
But you do it again.
I would again, yeah. Drop of a hat.
And you mentioned 1917, which is upcoming. Were there specific challenges with that? I've heard it's in all one shot, but you can't talk about it?
No idea, really.
Okay, but and do you still shoot? Is it all digital now? Is it film you still resort to?
I've been shooting digital now for quite a few years. The last film I shot on emulsion was Hail Caesar. I like digital. It just gives you a lot of flexibility and a lot of things that you can do that you can't do with film. And also, simply, you can have a calibrated monitor on set, so I can show John or any other director, this is what we're shooting. This is a silhouette. This is what it looks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it opens up much more open conversation about the visuals. So I kind of like the technology, really. Yeah, every movie is different, but I wouldn't say there was any specific idea. You know, every film you're trying to create a world, an individual world that reflects the story.
Is any when you do the shooting, some like the technology you use to get this story telling on the big screen?
No new technology. No, I mean technology is advancing quite rapidly in the film industry, but there was nothing on that I hadn't used before. No, not really.
Is any
Sorry.
one thing is most challenging for you
The
in the
challenge
movie?
is on a film like that is you're shooting over long periods, you're shooting out of sequence. As a challenge for actors and the director, of course, as well. You're going from scene to scene, place to place, and you've got to create continuity. You've got to create an overall feeling of a world that's coherent, you know. And that's the biggest challenge. It's not one little detail, it's putting all those details together to make a coherent whole.
I had read the book for pleasure and enjoyed it enormously, and Warner's had very sort of rather flatteringly asked me to do various things over the years, none of which were the right kind of thing, and I went for a meeting with them and said, what's going on with the Goldfinch? And they said, well, we didn't have a screenplay, but they would send it to me when they did, and I went and met on it and then convinced them to let me direct it over a series of meetings.
And in terms of, was Nicole already on board at the beginning, or was that something you...
No one was attached, no.
Okay, so
there was a first draft of a screenplay, and that was it.
And is this your sort of first experience of bringing a film to TIFF? I'm sure you've been here before.
No, many times, yeah. But like Intermission, Boy A, is anybody there? Brooklyn, and now this. I love TIFF.
So I played Boris, the older version of Boris, and Finn Wolfhard plays the younger, because we have these two different timelines going on with the younger versions of two characters, Boris and Theo, and then the older versions. So I have to take over the role at a later age after the character develops more and more damage, and then tries to kind of amend a bad thing that he's done to one of his best friends.
And with a source material like a novel like The Goldfinch, which is much loved all over the world, is that pressure, added pressure to you to sort of deliver, but to bring something else to the role?
For me, I find that exciting because I'm only good at what I do when people really push me. When I'm put in the deep end, I'm drowning. That's when I learn how to swim better. So for me, it's kind of like I see it as a gift to try to be better at what I do.
Thank you so much. It was a privilege to direct The Goldfinch. And when I say to you that it was a labor of love, I mean that in the very truest sense. I was surrounded by exceptional individuals making this film, whose love of what they do absolutely lightened and completely lightened the hard work that goes into making any film, much less one as ambitious as this. Nina Jacobson and Brad Simpson, you're naughty and wickedly funny, and you are the two greatest producers any filmmaker could ever wish to have by their side. Sue Kroll and Mary Jo Winkler-Lafreda, you did so much to get this film in its current form onto the screen that I could not do justice to it possibly this evening. Toby Emmerich, Courtney Valenti, and Kevin McCormick and the entire team at Warner Brothers, thank you for championing and supporting the rarest of birds, which is a complex, emotional drama headed for a theatrical release. You richly deserve your wonderful reputation as a great home for filmmakers. Ted Hope and Amazon, thank you so much. The film is shot by Roger Deakins. He's somewhere here. He's a genius, and you have no idea how much he will hate me saying that. So let's just keep that between ourselves for the moment, okay? We're also graced with the most glorious cast in this film. So let me introduce them to you. First of all, we have the delightful Aimee Laurence. the wonderful Willa Fitzgerald, the lovely Ashley Cummings, the great Denis O'Hare, next we have Wales's finest export since Richard Burton, Aneurin Barnard. The gorgeous Luke Wilson.
Yeah. Good to see you.
The one and the very, 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 very only Sarah Paulson.
I paid her a lot of money to do that. Yeah.
I'm not going to trot out the tired old cliche that our next actor needs no introduction, because she doesn't. She is the magnificent Nicole Kidman. The wild Finn Wolfhard. Wild. And now the awesome Oaks Fegley. And the exceptional Ansel Elgort. You don't have to, it's fine. It's always, well, it's always lively here, but it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to screen a film here. But to premiere a film here is an honor. So Cameron, thank you very much for having us. Thank you all for coming to see us. I really hope you enjoy the film. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey You Guys!